Hi, I'm Danielle Bassoni, back with another episode of Time for Change Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make pepper sauce. Coming from the South, we eat our greens with pepper sauce. And I know that north of the Mason-Dixon line this may not be so popular. My husband really loves this, even though he was born and raised in upstate, in central New York. It's one of the simplest things in the world to make. This can be as spicy or as mild as you like, just depending on what kind of peppers you put in here. I'm putting a melange of peppers in here, and frankly, I can't tell you how spicy they are because I have no idea what some of these peppers are. The lady at the farmer's market who sold them to me told me they were all hot, and you really can't get peppers that are too hot for me. So this is what I'm choosing to use. And I'm also doing a variety of colors because I just think it looks really nice. And so I cut the parts of the stems off. I like leaving a little bit of the stem in there. And I just cram it as full as I can of peppers. And these, of course, have been washed very well. And then all we do is we take vinegar. Now this vinegar is made with natural grains. This one is one I did with jalapeno peppers, and they were too large to put into this kind of jar. And I used apple cider vinegar with this, just Bragg's apple cider vinegar. And I like to use the vinegar jars because they're very sturdy and they can handle hot vinegar in them. And so I've microwaved this until it boiled, and I just took it out of the microwave, and we are just going to fill this up. And I just guessed that this was going to take about 2 cups. If it's not enough, I'll make some more, and I'll just microwave a little more. But I think this is going to be fine. Okay, so now what we need to do is all the air is coming out of it. And in a bit, this is going to settle down, and the liquid is going to drop down some. And when that happens, we'll fill it up again. And then it's finished. Put it in your refrigerator, and this will last you for months. And it's wonderful over greens, like I said, or any kind of vegetable. And I don't use sugar or salt in this recipe. It's just really not necessary. You're not preserving this for a long period of time, and if you choose to add a sweetener or salt, you can do it after, once you've poured it on your vegetables. So I'm going to let this cool, and I'll be back in as soon as it's done, as soon as it's cooled down and this has reduced in volume, and then we'll top it off and seal it and put it away. Okay, we're back. This is warm to the touch now. And it didn't drop down as much as it often does. Sometimes it drops down about this much, and I guess it depends on how much air is being held within these peppers. But first of all, I'm going to taste it. It's very nice. It's not terribly hot. It got me at the back of the throat, but it's very pleasant, and it's perfect on green vegetables like kale or collard greens. And so I'm going to top it off. And then we can cap this, and it'll keep in your refrigerator for months. Now that I've done that, I've decided that I want to make one that's hotter. Now this, when you put it on your vegetables, it's not really very concentrated, so you won't really get a blow your head off heat. So I'm going to try this with cutting these peppers because I want to see how hot it will actually get if I cut these peppers and expose these membranes and the seeds. And if it's too hot for me, then I'll just give it to my brother because I know it won't be too hot for him. So I'm going to cut off these stems, and the purpose of having the stems on was to keep from exposing the seeds and as well as the flesh. And by the way, if you have access to Tabasco peppers, those are fantastic for pickling in this way because they're hot, but they're not outrageously hot. Cut that one a little more. If you're working with hot peppers, be sure to wash your hands very well before you touch your eyes because this stuff gets really hot. I'm going to leave a few whole ones in there. I'll just take the stems off. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll change my strategy. I think I'll do as many of the small ones as I can get in there with the stems on, and I'll just put the big ones in there without the stems. Not that one though. I like some of the stem, but I don't see any reason to put all of that in there. And these vinegar jars make great containers for this. I buy these peppers from a lovely young woman at the farmer's market, and she doesn't speak English very well. She's from Mexico, and so I asked her what kind of peppers they were, and she didn't know. She just said they were hot. They were hot, and so I have to take her word for it. I think while I'm finishing these, I'm going to go ahead and put the vinegar in the microwave and heat it to a boil. It took 5 minutes to heat those. I had a little over 2 cups for the last batch. We're not going to have quite as much for this one, but it took me 5 minutes to microwave that. Okay, so by the way, you don't have to worry about this label. Once this is cooled, you can easily soak this label off and it'll come right off. So we're going to fill this and then let this cool off, and then we'll come back and taste it and see if it blows our head off or not. Okay. I'm going to have to heat up some more vinegar to bring this to the top, but you get the idea. And so we'll just let this cool off. I'm going to go ahead and top it off now, and after I heat up a little more vinegar, and then we'll come back after it's cool and taste it. Okay, we're back. This is cool to the touch now. It's dropped a little in volume, either being absorbed by the peppers or air being released from the peppers. And so we're going to top that. Well, first I want to taste it, because this was really an experiment to see how hot it would get. Let me get that seed out of there. This is very spicy. Species spicy. As a matter of fact, this one may go to my brother. This has a very nice flavor, and will certainly add a nice kick to your vegetables if you prefer to have a really spicy backdrop to your vegetables. So now I'm going to cap it, and when it's very cool, I'm going to just soak this a little bit and remove the label. I could have done that before, which I did with the other jar. And there you have it, a wonderful pepper sauce that you can enjoy for months to come. I'm Danielle Bassoni, serving up whole foods for whole health.